Hi, my name is Kristen, and I am a pregnancy coach who works with mamas all over the world, helping you overcome overwhelm and anxiety so that you can enjoy your pregnancy, have a sacred birth, and give your baby the beautiful beginning that you've been dreaming of. Today, I want to talk about how ice cream can prevent postpartum hemorrhage. You're probably going, what? That sounds like a good deal, but not necessarily one that I believe. And as you can see, I'm already smiling so much just because the thought of ice cream and postpartum hemorrhage and all of that, like, can we really prevent it that way? It gives you a smile, and that's actually the key. Ice cream, and when most of us think about ice cream, we have a smile, it seems really good, something happy, or we associate happy memories with it. And what happens is when you think about something like that, that makes you happy, that is a happy memory, it actually boosts a hormone in your body called oxytocin. And oxytocin is a key to helping have a smoother, safer birth and preventing postpartum hemorrhage. So sadly enough, eating a pint of ice cream a day is probably not going to prevent postpartum hemorrhage, but ice cream gives us a great way to think about oxytocin and talk about what does. Now, I got this from Karen Strange, who teaches neonatal resuscitation, and I've been blessed to get my certification with her a number of times at this point. And she talks about how if you're in a stressful situation, like say someone pulls out in front of you when you're pregnant, you feel your stress hormones go up, you pull over, you take a minute to calm down, you breathe, you put your hand on your belly and reassure your baby, and then you think, okay, let's go get ice cream. And that gives you a smile, and that oxytocin starts flooding in and helping you calm down. Well, oxytocin is the hormone of love and connection, and it's also the primary hormone in labor. In fact, Pitocin or Syntocinon, depending on where you are in the world, is a synthetic oxytocin. But the key to remember about Pitocin or Syntocinon is that a synthetic oxytocin works on the uterus the same way as natural oxytocin. In fact, a little bit better, because the contractions tend to be longer and stronger, which it turns out may not be such a great idea for baby. But it doesn't act like natural oxytocin in the brain. So when you think about ice cream and get a smile on your face, and you experience that sense of pleasure and calmness and relaxation, synthetic oxytocin wouldn't do that. Your ice cream induced oxytocin surge does, because it crosses the blood-brain barrier the way that natural oxytocin does. So the important thing to remember about a safer labor and birth is that high levels of oxytocin are protective in multiple ways. Number one, those feel-good and relaxation effects of oxytocin are literally pain relievers in your birthing time. They're not the only ones. There are other hormones like beta endorphin that help, but they are a primary one. And they also do stimulate uterine contractions. Uterine contractions help the baby come down and out. And in the postpartum period, oxytocin is especially important. In fact, oxytocin levels in the immediate postpartum, right after your baby has been born, are so high that everybody in the room gets a contact high from that level of oxytocin. But that is assuming that it's your natural oxytocin flowing. Because like I said, synthetic oxytocin doesn't give that group high feeling. And synthetic oxytocin has another negative effect in that it undermines and breaks your natural oxytocin flow. So it's not like you can have the two of them working together. If you've got the synthetic oxytocin on board, the natural oxytocin isn't working, which is why women who have induced or augmented labors often need a boost of Pitocin or Syntocinon in the postpartum to help prevent postpartum hemorrhage, because natural oxytocin isn't working anymore. It's basically been taken offline. So what you want to do is think about ice cream every now and again throughout your pregnancy and maybe treat yourself to it. But there are many other things that can boost oxytocin. In fact, thinking about your baby and your future with your baby, nursing your baby, or arranging your baby's clothes, or if you're one of those people who's a little bit apprehensive about the baby period, but you think about, oh, I can't wait till my child's in school, or till I can have tea parties or dump trucks or be a soccer mom or help with science projects, or whatever it is that, makes you feel excited about parenting. Those things can also induce oxytocin, as well as watching funny movies. In fact, my number one recommendation for my clients who are like, Kristen, I'm so ready for this baby to be born. It's like, okay, watch a funny movie every night and just laugh and cuddle with your partner, your husband, and enjoy yourself, because that boosts oxytocin, which is that hormone that gets labor going. And then also during labor, honoring that hormonal blueprint during labor, which usually means keeping lights low, keeping you safe, because oxytocin doesn't fire when you don't feel safe. It is a hormone of connection and love. But those are things that can help. And then when you have your baby, skin to skin with baby, and then your baby right with you, baby doesn't necessarily even need to nurse. Baby licking and nuzzling all stimulates good hormonal things happening, and that oxytocin high to happen. No hat on baby's head, because the smell of your newborn, which is intoxicating, also sends olfactory signals that help stimulate oxytocin and bonding with your baby. So those are all things that can help. Like I said, I love working with clients. I love being with them at the end, but I especially love working with you throughout pregnancy so that I can talk to you about all of this really interesting, really amazing stuff about your body and about giving your baby a beautiful and even sacred birth experience, because birth is meant to be ecstatic, and oxytocin is one of the hormones that can help make that happen. I would love to talk with you about how I can support you throughout pregnancy in doing all this preparation and building these hormone levels and having the birth that you want. And I love talking with moms and being in your pocket, a text away whenever you have a question, always there, evidence-based information, but also information that honors the sacred in this time. Shoot me an email or reach out to me at birthbabylife.com/beautiful. I'd love to jump on a call with you this week and talk about how I can help you. Have a blessed day today.